We actually just got Mike's number. We're gonna go ahead and give him a FaceTime call now and see if we can get him on the phone. If so, I'll go ahead and record his reaction for you guys and see what he thinks about being the winner of this Porsche. My name's Hussein from Forza Automotive on YouTube.
Yeah, man.
I was just calling to let you know that you were actually chosen for the winner of the Turbo Porsche.
Say what? Really?
Yep, here she is.
You gotta be kidding me. Hold on, man. That's crazy.
It was your name.
Man, that is incredible, man. I don't even know what to say. That's absolutely incredible.
I'm happy to report, guys, that the Porsche did arrive down to him, and he's very excited to have it. Now let's get in today's video of working on this 240Z and get it started for the first time in over 30 years. So the first thing you'll see us doing here is getting the starter all tightened up and getting all the power wires hooked in. That way we can try to give this thing some juice and crank it over for the first time. Probably nothing. Oh, it's gonna crank right over.
It's gonna start. You're driving us home tonight.
No, cool, but it'll crank. Now I'll spray some starter fluid in the carburetors. That's crazy, dude. It's been sitting for how long?
Yeah.
Almost fired.
You want me to spray it again?
Yeah, go ahead.
You want to hit the throttle?
I feel like it's not returning, is it?
Like,
Is it returning like the throttle?
yeah.
Okay. Alright, I need a little bit more in there while I crank.
Yeah. I don't know which one though.
It runs. Oh. He's a little stuck in the ignition.
So really, we just need fuel.
Well, it does pop off, so that means we're getting a spark. All it needs is fuel. The fuel filter isn't hooked up, so we're going to go ahead and drain the fuel tank next, and then we'll try getting fuel to the carburetors. Hopefully there's no leaks, and then we should be able to fire this up. It's kind of crazy to see the car's been sitting from 96, I believe it was, or no, 93, and fired right up with just hooking a battery up and spraying a little bit of starting fluid in it. It's crazy to see, but these motors are pretty robust. They last forever, so yeah, we're going to go ahead and get the car up on the lift, drain the fuel tank, and then we'll go from there. So it's close to the end of the day here. So we figured if we just wanted to hear it run for a little bit, so we're going to go ahead and run a hose just to a clean gas can. Get some fresh fuel in there and see if it'll run. Can you float?
Huh?
Can you feel anything coming through the hoses?
I couldn't feel anything. No. Do you want me to try to see if I can get it to fire with the ether, then see if it'll?
Yeah, maybe that might work too. Tack does work. Got oil pressure.
That's also a good thing to have. It's sucking. It's just really weak.
So we got a good used never start battery in here. We're gonna go ahead and crank it over and see if it'll run now. I don't know, this might be it. It's definitely getting fuel though.
Oh yeah.
Instantly. Well, Cranks a lot faster.
Pissing fuel out of it.
Okay, you can kill it there. Oh, as you guys can see, it's still leaking fuel over there, so we got the float stuck in the carburetor. Go ahead and check that out, see if we can get that fixed. And overall, it does run. It took like 25 minutes to get this thing running, if that. But it does now run. It's sucking fuel, and it's running all right. So that's good to see. Next steps, we'll see if we can get that float unstuck over there on the carburetor so it quits dumping out fuel. All right, so we're going to go ahead and use the impact driver to remove these screws out of the float bowl and see if we can clean it out. Hopefully that fixes our issue. So basically the issue we're running into now is this little nub here on the side of the carburetor is preventing us from taking the actual float section out. I'm trying to get out, so I'm trying to see if I can squeeze it by without taking all of it apart. Went ahead and pulled the pin that held the float up against the lid. Now I can pull the float out by itself. So there is some varnish on the floats. You guys can kind of see the discoloration. All seems to be working fine though, so I'm not sure what the reason is that it's sticking, but I'm gonna go ahead and take it all apart and just clean it to be safe. Just went ahead and siphoned out the fuel there. I'm just gonna try to clean up a little bit of this varnish before we put it back together. Well, it's picking up on camera there, but there's a little mark on the side of this. I'm gonna go ahead and stick it in a cup of water and just confirm that it floats. Because some of these are like just made out of foam and they're pretty solid. The other ones are hollow sometimes, so if it has a hole in the side or something, it won't float anymore. So I'm gonna go ahead and check that out and see if it floats. Got a cup here of some dirty mineral spirits from the parts cleaner. I'm gonna go ahead and drop this in there and just see if it floats. Okay, so appears like it's floating perfectly fine. Hold it under there for a little bit. So it comes back up. Yep, it's still coming up, so float appears to be in okay condition, so we're going to go ahead and reinstall it and see if this takes care of the issue. All right, so this plunger basically goes in and out when fuel comes through this hose here. So all I'm going to do is go ahead and pop this clip off, pull this plunger out. There's a spring. And there's the inside. So this gets just filthy over time, so I'm just going to go ahead and clean it up. As you guys can see, there's a lot of like black stuff on there all around there coming off, so go ahead and clean that up. So I'm not really trying to take any material away here. I'm just more or less trying to make sure there's no filth down in there, just make it so it slides nice and easy. I just got a drill bit that's pretty much the exact size and just kind of spin it around in there. Make sure we got it. As you guys can see, there's some debris and stuff coming out of it. So as you guys can see, just run a little bit through there. You guys can see it's letting fuel out, and then when I act as a float, pushing that plunger back up, basically can't get any fuel out of it. Open back up, starts dripping back in the bowl. That's basically just the basics on how it works. Again, all that appears to be functioning all fine. I don't see any room for concern there. It's probably just some debris or something stuck up in there, so now that we took it all apart, it should be all right. I'm gonna go ahead, hop back over to the car and see if we can get the float in there, put that rod through while we put the cap down on there. So we'll go ahead and try that now. All right, so There, we went ahead and pushed the pin back in just to make sure it's all working right. Everything feels good. Springing back. So we'll go ahead, pull the pin back out, and then try to get this back down in that bowl there. Don't see any fuel coming out of there, so here's that, fix that. As you guys can hear though, the engine's a little noisy, so I'm going to go ahead and put in some of the liquid moly flush, let that run through the motor for a little bit, and then we'll drain out all the old oil and do an oil change on it, see if that takes care of it. If not, it may just need the rocker arms or something like that adjusted. So here's the liquid moly engine flush. I'm going to go ahead and put that in there now. Normally for something like this, you do want to let the engine idle for like 10 to 15 minutes. Obviously, without having a radiator, we're not going to be able to do that. I'll still be able to run it some and hopefully clean up some of it for the time being before we do an oil change on it. So we're going to go ahead and add some brake fluid into the brake master cylinder as well as the clutch master cylinder, just to see if we can get any of the fluid moving, just so we have an idea of what parts we need to order. I know for the rear we need pretty much all the new hardware and everything in there, but we're going to go ahead and try to bleed the clutch first and see what happens. How bad do you think it's going to be?
I think it's pretty great.
Well, let's go see underneath of this thing, see what we're working with finally.
Fine engineered.
So I did a nice patch there, nice and solid.
Can't even tell. Oh yeah.
So here's some of the rust we were seeing at the detail shop once they got all the insulation up. Someone's did a little bit of patching here before.
Still got the factory part number.
That is crazy. That's crazy that's still on it. It's definitely not terrible. Gotta get some floor pans. Usually the floor pans will come with this frame rail piece here, so not a big deal. I guess since we have it up, we can get the, drain that gas. See what it looks like. There was a whole lot of gas in there.
Oh wow.
That looks great.
Not bad. Let's throw up your 240.
That smells great. It doesn't. Dude, it's so bad. It's like straight varnish. So we finally got in the new parts from AutoZone. We got a new brake master cylinder as well as a new clutch master cylinder. We're gonna go ahead and get those installed now and then see if we're able to bleed everything out, because we're having some issues. We're trying to get it bled, but we weren't really getting good pressure down there at the slave cylinder for the clutch or any of the calipers. So we're gonna go ahead and put the new parts on and try rebleeding it again.
I'm going to prep out my bench, get my tools that I think I'm going to need. I'll probably need to make a couple runs over to the toolbox, but I'll get everything that I think that I need, grab that, and bring you guys over and get to it. We got our master cylinder here. Yeah, it should just be a brake master. I don't know why there's two separate reservoirs, but more power to them. Then this should be the clutch master, and that should, yeah, be pretty self-explanatory. Like, I think I can figure that out. So first steps first, I'm gonna extract the fluid. All right, so as you can see, that's a brake master cylinder. Now I'm going to stick this lovely tube in there and suck all of that stuff out. As you guys can see, we got all that drained out. So hopefully it will be minimal brake fluid going onto the strut tower region. All right, so this is the best angle I'm gonna be able to get. I just realized I never introduced myself to you guys. My name is Ryan. I work for Usain, and it's awesome. It's really, this is probably the best job I've ever had. I get to work on, you know, some normal cars, but a lot of like cooler cars, I would say. But yeah, working here, I mean, I get to work on all sorts of cool stuff. He's got a, I don't know if he's talked about it on video at all. He's got an S13 hatch with an SR in it, and that's kind of how I ended up getting the job here. Try to keep the yapping down to a minimum, but I figured you guys should know who I am. You know, I watch most of his YouTube videos, and now that I'm in this one and I'm talking a lot, I don't know if I'll watch it.
Make sure you guys drop a comment down below and let us know what you think of the new mechanic Ryan. Here you guys will see him install both of the new master cylinders, one for the brake and one for the clutch.
The only thing I did was I popped the bleeders on the actual master cylinder and let those air bleed for a little bit. So those are both leaking and good to go. I'm going to refill them up, grab Usain, and see what he wants me to do. I don't think Usain does this, but if you guys could hit the like button to show some appreciation. Maybe leave a comment, let me know what I can do better. Yeah, hit the subscribe button perhaps, you know. Pretty cool stuff we're doing here. Do you want me to lift up the car and start doing the brakes and then we can try bleeding them, or?
Yeah, I would say get the drums reassembled. That
Okay.
way we're not blowing the wheel cylinders out now that we actually have a real master cylinder.
Yeah. Car is in the air, as you can see, because, well, I mean, I know I'm short, but I'm not that short. So I'm going to pop this tire off and put the drums in. Yeah, this one's seized. So got the okay from Boss Man to try to salvage this, which I figured. But this definitely could become a hurdle in having this car running and driving today. That was the goal. But I'm going to bring you guys with me to the vise, see if we can't get this situated. Cools down, and just like that, what was maybe a second and a half for you guys was about 5 to 10 minutes for me. So got this all freed up, moves nice and easy now, and it is cool, so I can hold it, which means I can put it back in.
Holden. pedal's feeling a lot better now. Grab the light there for me. I don't know how well that's picking up on camera, but you guys can see just how bad the rust is there inside that piston. So I'm definitely gonna say that that's bad, so we'll go ahead and get one of those ordered. So see if we can get that tomorrow and hopefully be able to take this thing on the first drive. We did get all the brakes to bleed out, so that's good. But that definitely looks bad. I don't think that's gonna seal if we can get it working at all. So go ahead and replace the slave cylinder, and then I guess we'll take our chances with the clutch and see what happens when we go to move it. Figured while we had the car up in the air, get ready to replace the slave cylinder, we'll go ahead and drain the engine oil now, since we had all that engine flush in there. That way we can just get all the old filth out of the motor and get fresh oil up in it. You guys can see just how dark that oil is. That engine flush does a really good job of breaking up all the old sludge and getting that all out of the motor. So hopefully it'll be nice and clean in there if we have to do anything inside. Yeah, there's a good example of all that sludge that it breaks down, gets out of the motor. It's always good to run that through a motor every once in a while to clean it out, especially if something's been sitting for a long time, because this oil turns the sludge real bad in there. So we went ahead and hooked our power bleeder up to the new clutch master cylinder, got the new clutch slave cylinder put in. We're just going to go ahead and pressurize this now. So this basically acts kind of similar to like when you pump your brakes and hold it, keep the pressure on it. This continues to just leave a constant amount of pressure on it and always make sure it's full of brake fluid. He's going to go ahead and crack the slave cylinder open now, and we'll see if we get a nice stream out there. Steady stream out down there. You can see all the air that came out of the line. So that means we're getting good flow. We're gonna go ahead and just feel the clutch pedal out now and kind of see how it all feels. So the issue we're running into is we got all the air out of the system using the power bleeder, but we still don't have much travel in the clutch pedal. I believe the issue we're running into is the rod in the new aftermarket part is actually too short. So we're gonna go ahead and disassemble this one and see if we can fit this rod into the other one to see if that'll correct our issue. We believe the issue to be is this rod here is actually a little too short. So if you guys can see, it's about 2 inches further back than the new brake pedal, which it should be pretty level. So here's what was causing our problem. We went ahead and pulled the old plunger out. Well, I guess this is the old one here on the left, and that is the new one on the right. As you guys can see, it's about 1 inch shorter almost. So we're gonna go ahead and switch those around now and get it put back in the car. As you guys can see now, the clutch pedal rests fully up against the stop here. So now it's in the correct position. So we just got some of these part store filters. We're gonna go ahead and put a new one on, and we're gonna hook the line back up from the gas tank. We flushed it a couple times. I mean, it seems like there's still a little bit of varnish in it, but should be cleaned out enough for us to allow it to come through to the carburetor now, especially with the new filter. Got some fresh fuel in there. We're gonna go ahead and start cranking it now and see if this fuel filter starts filling up. So as you guys saw, we were trying to get fuel up to the front from the tank. For some reason we couldn't get it up to the filter at all, so we started investigating. I decided to go ahead and hook our blowgun up to the hose and just kind of blow it backwards into the tank and see if we could hear it back there. Initially we weren't hearing anything, but upon further inspection, when I blow here, there's so when we blow air in the line here, it should be going straight back to the tank. As you guys can hear, there's some air noise. I'm not blowing anymore, but you still hear it coming out. So there's actually a pinhole in the fuel line down here at the frame rail. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to go ahead and remove this clamp and actually put a piece of hose from back here up to the fuel filter. Because what's happening right now, the fuel pump's trying to suck fuel, but it keeps sucking air from here, so it's never going to get fuel from the back tank. So we're going to have to cut the line back here, just run a new piece of hose up to the filter, and that should take care of it, and then we should be able to get fuel up to the front. Picking up on camera, but there is a hole right there, pinhole in it. And that's what was causing us to suck air and not fuel up to the front. So we're just gonna go ahead and put a piece of hose there. So as you guys saw, we got it running with its own fuel now. It is bringing up the fuel. It is a little dark in color. There was a lot of varnish in the tank, but I don't see any chunks or anything like that that should cause issue with the carburetors. So now we're going to go ahead and try to move it under its own power for the first time in 30 years. Let's fire this thing up and see if we can get it out of the garage. So as you guys seen, we got the car running and driving for the first time in over 30 years. It's definitely a fun experience. We do unfortunately have a couple more things to do before we can actually drive the car on the road. So obviously, as you guys seen, we do have rust in the floor pans. I do have those on order, as well as some interior pieces. They just haven't came in yet. As you guys can see here under the hood, we are missing a few things. We do not have a radiator, and we're also missing the alternator. Unfortunately, it didn't come with one. I'm waiting for those to come in. Older cars are a little tricky to get the parts for anymore. Most of the parts stores aren't really carrying any of it. So unfortunately, since we do have a wait on some of the parts, it'll probably be a couple weeks before you guys see another video on this. But hopefully in the next one you guys see, this car will be completely finished up. Better set of wheels, all the cooling system installed, as well as some cosmetic upgrades or changes we want to do. I did find a pretty cool vehicle at auction this week, so that will be here next week, and that'll be the next video you guys see. It's a vehicle I've wanted for a little while now, and I'm pretty excited to get one and have a chance to experience it. Don't forget to hit the notification bell, as well as like and subscribe on this video. That way you guys can stay tuned and make sure you don't miss out on the next one. It's a pretty special vehicle, and I think a lot of you guys are going to like it.
I haven't done anything, really.
I'm joking now over here. Okay.